And good evening. Welcome to another edition of a Lakers Fast Break Snack Pack. I am your host, Sean Grice, aka the Magic Man, and welcome back to the Lakers Fast Break Network. Before we get into it, please hit the like and subscribe button. It would help us out immensely. Our community is growing by the day. It is absolutely unreal the kind of momentum we have, and can't thank everybody enough for being involved. And with that, let's get it rolling. All right. So tonight we have game one of one half of the NBA's Eastern Conference semifinals tonight. It's our hated rivals, the Boston Celtics, uh, going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. And we've just received word that Joel Embiid will not play tonight. So that is a very, very big issue for Philadelphia. If that being the case, I expect Philly to come out and obviously try and get as many shots for Tyrese Maxey as possible, or they should. But we know Doc can potentially dock himself out of an actual playoff series, let alone a playoff game. So I'm not sure what to expect here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Me and Gerald have talked about this before. I absolutely think it's crucial that if Philly is going to take the next step, it's going to be Tyrese Maxey that has to force the issue and take the ball out of Harden's hands. Um, in this particular series, I think James Harden just drew the worst matchups possible for his style of play, considering that his quick burst that he used to have from the time he was came into the league, not from 19 to 30, it was solid. It's probably one of the best first steps in NBA history, but it's gone. It's gone. He's lost it. He can't drive and create havoc in the lane like he used to. Not only that, because of his diminishing burst, he can't really drive and kick like he could anymore either. So it's going to be a problem for Philly, definitely. I'm not sure who's going to watch Harden tonight. Personally, I'd put Jalen Brown and Tyrese Maxey, and I'd let Marcus Smart handle James Harden. That would just be me personally. They may do the reverse. May put Jalen Brown on Harden, in which case, good luck, James, because you're not going to get your 25, 11, and 11 like you have in the past. Uh, Boston just has so many different kinds of perimeter weapons defensively to throw at Philly, and if they're absent Joel Embiid, that's devastating for them offensively. Embiid's approached a usage rate of close to 40% for Philly this year at times. So he's a huge part of their offense. And quite frankly, their half court offense is garbage too when he's away. I don't care how good James Harden is as a facilitator, it's just not going to work out. I also happen to think that in the absence of Embiid, Time Lord and Grant Williams are going to be able to eat up the offensive rebounding, and there's going to be a lot of problems for Philly because Doc Rivers, we know and I know Joe's got a lot of respect for Doc, and he said he'd never say a bad word about him after the kind and inspiring words he said about the late Kobe Bean Bryant. We love you, Bean. Amen. Uh, facts are facts, and the fact is Doc's blown 3-1 leads. He's lost 4 game 7s at home. At home, he's lost 4 game 7s at home. He's blown two 2-0 series leads. So we know that Doc has problems enough when he's actually up a series, let alone down. I think he's going to have trouble matching up with Missoula just based on the fact that you don't have the weapon you did 24 hours ago, and it's going to be very difficult for Philly to manufacture points. Really hard. You would think, because Maxey's getting more shots, maybe he would average more points. Not necessarily the case in 3 games this year against Boston. Maxey is 9 for 32, including 1 of 11 from deep. So he does not shoot well against Boston. That needs to change. If Maxey is not playing well, this may be a short series anyway. Now, before we had found out that Embiid was going to be absent this game, I actually thought that it would be a 7 game series, but considering the fact that he's going to be absent now, I think Boston wins this series in 6. And I hate saying that; it makes me sick to my stomach to think that they would prevail in a basketball series. But that's the case for me. Um, I like Philly. I just don't like Philly in this matchup. There's just too many perimeter defensive holes that Boston can create that Philly won't be able to overcome. Whoever is checking James Harden offensively, and I imagine it would be Jason Tatum, they're just going to eat him alive. Harden's a sitting duck as far as a defensive game plan is set. And it's not as if Philly can roll out great perimeter defense either. PJ Tucker is getting older. Tobias Harris is not the player he once was. Maxey is meh defensively. He's not somebody that's going to stand out. You've gotten rid of Matisse Thybulle. You've gotten rid of Robert Covington. You do not have the kind of perimeter defense you used to, even with Jalen McDaniels. So I expect Boston to kind of roll them over tonight. I expect the first game not to be very close, but you never know. It could end up being a close game. I doubt it though. I think Boston's going to win this game uh, by 10, 15 points at least. I think they're going to coast. Moving on, I happen to I'm just intrigued by this Denver Phoenix series. Game two, we're going to see what kind of adjustments are made at all. I mean, if Cameron Payne does not play tonight, then it doesn't bode well for Phoenix. And I don't care if KD and Book come out and score 45 points each. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Phoenix needs to find a way to get into the lane against Denver. It's guard penetration. That's what it comes down to. That's Denver's huge weakness defensively. They got a huge front court, beasts, very big, very strong. But their guard play and their backcourt is very vulnerable, especially with ball handlers and guard penetration. So there's going to be an emphasis on Phoenix's part to get into the lane or to shoot threes, one or the other. Yeah, your mid-range gods that you have, they're not doing much in the way of actually penetrating and making Denver adjust. Denver didn't care if they were shooting mid-range shots. Yeah, shoot all the mid-range shots you want. You're not getting into the lane and you're not making threes against us. Well, Denver's vulnerable to dribble drive and kick penetration. So something needs to change, or this might be a quick series too. I expect Phoenix to bounce back. I expect them to win game two, but it's going to be scratching and clawing the whole way because they don't have a guy off the bench who can get them 20. It's not Landry Shamet. He's not that kid anymore. We all saw what he could do off the bench when the Clippers were playing the Warriors. Oh, yeah. He could score you 20, 25 points. Not anymore. Not anymore. And Cameron Payne isn't 100%. I don't expect anybody off that bench to contribute in a significant way. And as we move along around the margins, just wanted to say, something. The Lakers and Warriors, I've seen it. I've seen it on social media right now. There's kind of this narrative of creating this rivalry. The Warriors and Lakers don't have a rivalry. The modern day Lakers and Warriors have met twice in the playoffs, once in 87, once in 91. Lakers won both series in 5. All right. That was the last time that the Warriors and Lakers ever had significant connection in the playoffs. Yeah, the San Francisco Warriors and the Golden State Warriors and the Lakers had a little bit of a rivalry in the late 60s to the mid 70s. They played 5 times in 10 years, but in the modern day, it's not really a rivalry. LeBron and the Warriors have a rivalry. That's the case. But this idea that you're somehow trying to conjoin the Lakers and LeBron in that is ridiculous. There is really no rivalry between the Lakers and the Warriors as far as the modern day is concerned. Um, it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say that Vando is probably going to be again beyond Curry. We'll find out, but I expect Darvin Ham to go back to a very similar scheme. I'm hoping that the defense stays alert because, again, as we talked about before, this is a very different offense than the one we saw in Memphis. As we continue on here, just some news and notes. We're talking about Nick Friedel. Now, Nick Friedel was on television today on ESPN with a bunch of other ESPN personalities, and they were clowning James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I want everybody to just keep this in mind, okay? When it comes to opinion and fact, there are two different things. But one thing ESPN and other sports media has tried to do is try to interlink opinion and fact and try and stack them up against each other. It's not true. The fact is, when Harden was in Brooklyn, Nick Friedel was slobbing on his knob like corn on the cob. That's what he was doing. But now that Harden's in Philly and Friedel thinks she's got free smoke and can take shots on him, it's a whole different ball game now, and it's amateurish, and it's one of the reasons why that network, along with, to me, all the other mainstream sports outlets are polishing brass on the Titanic. It's going down because of flaky, amateurish opinions that don't mean anything. They're just flack and bull, and I'm tired of it. And I really don't want us to entertain some of these opinions that we do, but unfortunately, because of the business that this creates, just so happens that got to talk about this stuff. Lakers might just be the worst team in the league. Based on what? We're in the second round. Based on what facts? Daniel, thank you again for joining. I'm not sure where everybody went. Was jumping a few minutes ago, but I'm just glad we're able to do another Lakers fast break. Hoping tonight we could talk about much more because Gerald wanted to keep short. So I'll just keep it short for now. Just to end this snack pack with this. Okay, there's a lot of talk now about, is Steph Curry the greatest point guard of all time? I think that's fantastic that he's even involved in this conversation, because when he came to the league, uh, he wasn't going to be talked about like this as one of the greatest point guards of all time. There was already a narrative that he could become one of the greatest shooters, but the whole package here, he's been able to develop a dribble drive game outside of his goat shooting. Um, Obviously, whatever speech he gave riled up the cockles inside of the Golden State Warriors, and they were able to rally and win a huge Game 7. So I would just say this: like the great rapper Nas once said, "North, South, East, West ain't no best." I consider that very true when it comes to conversations, especially legacy conversations about about certain players, right? Like MJ, Kobe, Kareem, like they're all good. It's all good for fodder, but it's in the end, it's kind of empty calories. Magic is the greatest passer in NBA history. Like there will never be another passer like Magic Johnson ever. Steph is the greatest shooter in NBA history. Magic and Bird revolutionized one era of the NBA. MJ revolutionized the next generation. LeBron revolutionized his generation. And now Steph revolutionized a new generation. I think that's wonderful. I think Magic and Steph are two wings on the same evolutionary plane. To me, it's just what's your taste? Do you like steak, right? Or do you like seafood? Do you like surf or do you like turf? To me, that's what it is with the conversation with Magic and Steph. I think they're 1A, 1B. I put Magic just above him. But you can't argue with the rings. You can't argue with the MVPs on either side. I just, like I said, I just think they're two wings on the same plane. They're two sides of a coin. It's a fantastic conversation that we can finally have because, in large respect, right, there has really been no comparison for Magic until Steph won all these championships and all these MVPs and revolutionized the way the game is played, just like Magic did. Um, I think it's fantastic, and I think it's a great conversation to have. Um, but we're just going to have to leave it there because it will just go on. As long as this game is played, there will never be who is the greatest because the game is still going on. So whoever is the greatest is still being decided until we stop playing this game. And I'm looking forward to the action tonight. Really excited about it. And I tried to stay around the margins as much as possible, Gerald, without getting too in depth because I know we need as much content as possible. So with that, I'll just leave this snack pack over and out. Uh, Wonderful to have everybody back. See everybody. Hope to bring you much more. And please hit that like and subscribe button because we need all the help we can get with this community moving forward. Love you guys. We'll see you after the games. Take care.